Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. I really do appreciate it. And in this one, I'm going to talk about how my NLP works. It's come to my attention that many of my clients had questions about it, even though I felt I explained it really well on my website. Before they came into me, they're like, well, what is NLP? How does it work? You just say on your podcast that it reprograms my mind, removes traumas and belief systems, and installs new archetypes and blah, blah, blah. And I don't get it, dude. It doesn't make any sense to me. But Mark, I trust you. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So what I want to do in this episode is talk about exactly how NLP works, specifically how it works in my program, how I'm able to get the results that I've been able to get. And if you doubt it, you can look on my website. There's just review after review after review, and most of them talk about NLP. And I will say most of my clients who come through the program say that NLP was their favorite part, in addition to the coaching calls with me and my team to get them to the next level of their development with the ability to seduce women. So NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And the basic premise is that we have programs running in our head since we were a small kid that dictate the way we believe in ourselves, the way we behave, that dictate how we react to certain situations based on past traumas and archetypes that were given to us. Now, in the first 7 to 10 years of your life, you're in a mild state of hypnosis. And the way most of your programming is programmed into your mind is through your parents, through coaches, through teachers, and through siblings and friends. So if you have a parent that too believes that they're not enough, say, for example, your dad believes that he's not enough, or he's not very attractive to women, or you shouldn't bother people, don't approach people, don't be creepy, and or approaching women is creepy, you will oftentimes unconsciously buy into his programming in order to get into rapport with him, or because he puts you in some sort of post-hypnotic trance by some comment that he makes when you're a kid, or something that happens with an experience with him and also with your mom. So say, for example, you guys are fishing and you drop the lure and it falls into the water and it sinks to the bottom and you guys can't get it. And he laughs and he says, "Oh, you're so clumsy sometimes." What will often happen is you will make the decision to believe that you are clumsy. Now, the interesting thing about the mind is that belief systems are decisions. Belief systems are decisions that you subconsciously make many times in order to get into rapport with somebody, or because somebody who you have a lot of faith in, such as your parents, tell you a certain thing about yourself and you decide to believe it. We think on a conventional level that belief systems are created through experience. Say, for example, you're in 4th grade and you tell a girl you have a crush on her and she says, "I'm not interested in that." Or what happened to me is the girl told me, "My parents won't let me go on a date with you." And that was my first rejection ever, which I find pretty laughable. What happens is you think you're given the program that you're not enough or you're not cool enough for a girl because a girl rejected you. But what actually happened is that you first get the belief system because you decide to do it, and it is a decision, and this is going to work into how we remove belief systems. First you decide, then you go look for evidence to substantiate it. So unconsciously, we will behave in ways that substantiate those decisions we've made around our belief systems. So if you believe you're not enough for a high quality woman, you are going to consistently and continually look for evidence to substantiate that. And this is why bad belief systems, especially in the realm of dating, are so insidious, is because a lot of you guys believe you're not enough, she'd be better with another guy, you shouldn't approach girls because it's creepy, your sexuality is shameful, all these things. What you're doing is you're looking for evidence to substantiate your belief systems that were given to you before you could defend yourself. If you've listened to many of my previous episodes, I always say that belief systems that were given to you before you could defend yourself from them. When you were a kid, you were given these belief systems and you decided to believe it. Whatever the reason was for your decision, you decided it. And then for the rest of your life, you go looking for evidence to substantiate it. When you get that evidence, which you always will, it only further ensconces, which means embeds that belief system into your subconscious mind. So here we are working with programming that isn't conducive to our goals. And the reason it's so important with women, particularly attracting them, is because your belief systems and those things that you've gone through in your past dictate how you behave, especially in front of women. Women have a way of revealing what's truly inside of you. They reveal your self-esteem, they reveal your confidence, they reveal your feelings about your sexuality, your feelings about your self-worth. And if you don't have a very high self-worth, if you don't have the frame where your reality is the best thing for you and she's lucky to be talking to you, you are going to behave in a very low-value way that doesn't get attraction from women. Now, does that mean you're not enough? Does it mean you're a piece of shit? Of course not, man. It's just belief systems. Belief systems dictate behavior. Behavior dictates your attraction from women. So when I first got into NLP, it was because I had anxiety, panic attacks, and agoraphobia. Some of you guys may have heard my story, but basically I was in Japan doing weddings. I had panic attacks during every single wedding that I did, and I did 200 of them, completely different podcast episode. But I went to a cognitive behavioral therapist, didn't work. I took medications, didn't work. I looked for everything I possibly could look for, and it wasn't until I came across NLP, which is Neuro-Linguistic Programming, did I actually get the change that I was looking for. Now, a lot of you guys are skeptics, and hey, that's okay. To be honest with you, I was the biggest skeptic that ever walked this earth when it came to NLP. When I first came upon this shit on the internet, I was doing research. I was like, yeah, right, dude, what a bunch of bullshit. You're going to put me in a quote unquote mild state of hypnosis and remove belief systems and traumas. What a bunch of bullshit. But I was suffering to such a high level. I said, fuck it. I'll try anything right now. I'll try a rain dance. I'll lick a dog's butthole. Like, do whatever you tell me to do, man. I'm going to do it. I just want to get rid of this anxiety. And a lot of clients who come to me are the same way. They're so sick of failing with women time and time again. They're like, look, I don't really understand the NLP completely, but I trust you, Mark. It seems like you have my best interest in mind, which, guys, I definitely do. So I'll try it, and it works for every single guy who comes into my program. So what I did is I contacted an NLP coach, and we did NLP over the phone. I was living in Japan. He was living in the United States, and this guy, his name is Dale. He's still my mentor. I still meet with him once a week. We talk about different things. He coaches me up. The guy is just an absolute godsend, and my dad died when I was 10, and he's kind of been like a second father to me. I just love the dude so much, and he's an NLP master practitioner who trained me in NLP, and that's how I've been trained, is through him. So when we met that first time on the phone, I told him I have massive anxiety, panic attacks, and we worked together for several months where he was able to completely get me over that. In addition to what I talked about in my previous episode about the rancor anchor, being in the present moment and focusing on that feeling, it was NLP that cured me. And it's because it did that for me that I became obviously one of the biggest believers that now ever walked this earth. I went from the biggest skeptic to the biggest believer because of my own experience. And the same thing happened to Dale. He was like, the first time I walked into an NLP session, I thought it was complete bullshit. And then they did one process on me. And his process was he was trying to get over the massive anger and resentment that he had towards his ex-wife. And he told me that the very first process he did, he completely dropped all those feelings of resentment and was able to go through his divorce in a more balanced way. So I became an NLP practitioner. And when I was getting into this stuff, I was like, dude, this shit would apply perfectly to women. Why? Because NLP removes belief systems, it reduces traumas, it installs archetypes, schemas, and metaprograms into your mind. And that's what everything is about attracting women. And I couldn't believe nobody had ever used this before. So when I started applying it to my clients, the results we were getting were unprecedented. It was just fucking insane, the results they were getting. And that's what I do for my clients. So the way NLP works is it's a guided meditation. Each process is about 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I guide you through a series of meditations that are essentially a distraction for your conscious mind. So as I tell you to imagine certain things such as, okay, I want you to float up above your body and look down. See yourself sitting in a chair. Now what I want you to do is float up way above your body where you're about 2 miles up and you're looking down on the United States or Australia or wherever you are. Now what I want you to see is a road. This road represents the timeline of your life from the day that you were born to the day that you die. Now, what I want you to do is start floating down. You're at 200 feet. You're at 800 feet, 700 feet, 600 feet. I want you to float down. And it goes like that, where I guide you through this visualization that is essentially, as I said, a distraction for your conscious mind, so that I can use embedded commands, which is what they're called in NLP, as well as archetypes, which I'm going to elaborate on in a second, to remove bad belief systems, to remove traumas and everything like that, as I'm going to explain. Now that begs the question, well, Mark, I'm horrible at visualizing shit. I can't even visualize what a kite would look like, let alone float out of my body and look down. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter. As long as you're trying to visualize and doing the best you can with it, it will work for you because, as I said, it's just a distraction. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even really matter that much if it's perfect. It only matters that you go through the process. And here's the thing, it also matters that you trust me. And this is the greatest thing about my business model, kind of an inside secret as to why I'm so successful. My business model is so effective because of this podcast. This podcast allows listeners like you to get into deep rapport with me. You begin to trust me. You begin to like me. I feel like an old friend, an older brother, Uncle CoachMarkSing, as many clients call me. When you have rapport with me and when you have the intention to let go of those negative belief systems and traumas that have been holding you back, this shit is so ridiculously effective because your intention and your belief in me, your rapport with me, is literally 75% of it. So if you come into a coaching protocol and you're saying, listen, I'm ready to let go of this bullshit belief system that I'm not enough for a hot girl. I'm just ready to let it go. I understand through Mark's coaching that it was just the decision anyway. Probably a decision that I made to get into rapport with my dad or my mom or friends or whatever it was. And it doesn't matter what happened, but whatever it was, and I'm ready to let this shit go. And I trust Mark to take me through this. When I take you through it, as long as you have that faith in me and you have that sincere intention to let it go, you will let it go. What the NLP process is a way for me to get you in a mild state of hypnosis. Now, I know sometimes hypnosis scares people. You think I'm going to make you squawk like a chicken or send me your social security number so I can steal your identity, but that's not what it is. You are in a mild state of hypnosis right now, brother, just because you're listening to me. You're in a mild state of hypnosis when you watch TV, when you do Instagram. Do you know how much money advertisers spend on a year-to-year basis to put you in a mild state of hypnosis when you're watching TV so they can sell you shit? Oh my hell, if I could just get into all the awesome techniques that are used to subliminally convince you to buy shit that you don't need, it would blow your fucking mind. So what I do is I put you in that same mild state of hypnosis, quote unquote, as when you're watching television. But the difference is I'm trying to help you, not sell you some bullshit you don't need, like a BMW M3 that'll make you feel worth it enough so that people admire you and know that you're successful. It's all fucking subliminal. It's all mild state of hypnosis. So through the guided meditation, I walk you through this process where I put your conscious mind in that mild state of hypnosis. Then underneath it all, I'm doing embedded commands and I'm using archetypes, which are symbols that all of humanity basically agrees on a subconscious level to remove those belief systems. Okay, let me give you an example. So if I were to tell you to imagine that underneath a blanket, there's all your negative emotions that are wrapped up about, let's just say, your inability to attract women. When we lift up that blanket, for most people, that will be represented by something that looks like a black bowling ball, a sword, a mace, which is basically a ball with spikes on it, or a number of different symbols that most people come up with when it comes to something that represents certain feelings, certain belief systems, certain traumas. So we understand that people think in archetypes, they think in symbols. And we use those symbols along with the guided meditation to remove those symbols in a certain way to basically remove the belief systems. So here's a concept in NLP that's a little hard to grasp. I know we're getting about 15 minutes in. Some of y'all are losing concentration, but just stick with me. The recognition of the negative emotion. So there's a negative emotion around your belief system, right? That, say, for example, you're not enough with women. The recognition of that negative emotion explains to your subconscious mind why you made the decision in the first place, and it allows you to let it go. I want to say that again. The recognition of the negative emotion explains to your subconscious mind why you made the decision in the first place, and then it gives you permission to let it go. And that's essentially what we're looking for. The reason why you made the decision in the first place was for your safety. So my job is, through these guided meditations, to get into your subconscious mind by using archetypes and symbols. We reveal the emotion behind the belief system and basically prove to your subconscious mind that you can let it go and choose a new belief system. And most importantly, that you're safe to do so. It's all about feeling safe. Am I safe to believe that I'm enough? Well, in the past, I chose to have the decision that it's safer to believe I'm not enough, but look at the results it's getting me. Doesn't really make me happy. So when we identify all the negative shit that's come out of that bad decision, which we do through these processes, then you're able to let it go, and you will let it go. And this is why it only takes one process. That's literally 15 minutes long to remove a belief system such as, I am not enough, sex is shameful, my body is ugly, being Asian is unattractive, being too short is unattractive, you shouldn't approach people, don't try to sell anybody anything, don't try to have sex with her because you're being creepy, you're gonna get canceled, you're gonna get rejected. All these bullshit belief systems can be removed just that quickly through NLP. And the way my program works is I have dozens and dozens and dozens of these type of NLP protocols that I assign to you over the 3 months. So when you come into the program, you fill out what I call the NLP intake form. And in addition to the notes that my NLP expert takes on you during your breakthrough session, I create a custom 3-month NLP protocol specifically for you. In that 3-month NLP protocol, you are doing NLP 3 to 5 times per week. Each one is about 10, 15, or 20 minutes. You do it on headphones. They are recorded, and they're specifically mapped to you and what I find in your NLP intake form, as well as the notes that the NLP expert takes on you when you meet for your breakthrough session. So some of you guys are more auditory. Some of you guys are more visual. Some of you guys are more clairsentient, which means you feel more. And I identify that through the NLP intake form, which is based on the DSM-4 psychological model, as well as the 5 neurological processes of NLP to identify all these things. And then I custom make it for you. Week 1 affects week 8, affects week 6, affects week 12, affects weeks 3. And what that means is the NLP protocol that I designed for each client is an accumulative effect. And it's like a web that works together. And it takes 3 months to go through the entire thing to get that remapping in your mind to make you more attractive to women. That being said, most of my guys see significant results by about week 5 or week 6 because their behavior is changing. They're getting rid of these belief systems, these traumas, this bullshit surrounding women and their beliefs about themselves, their own confidence, their own self-worth. So they behave differently in front of women. Then suddenly chicks are checking them out. Chicks are giving them their phone numbers. Chicks are wanting to have sex with them. I just got off a coaching call last night where the dude is like, bro, it was fucking crazy. I approached this girl at a bookstore and 2 hours later we're having sex. And I was like, that's a testament to the fact that you're now believing in yourself and a testament to the fact that if you don't go, it's always a no. So go approach her, just go talk to her. You never know what might happen. And guys have this happen to them all the time in the program because for years, they've been behaving in a way that makes women unattracted to them just on their behavior, not the way they look, not how much money they have, not any other bullshit that you've perhaps convinced yourself is the reason you're unattractive. It's fucking behavior. And that's the truth every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So if we can change the belief systems, the behavior changes, and then results change. And my guys are like, how the fuck is this possible? It's because you're giving yourself permission to let go of bullshit belief systems, install new belief systems, which is part of the program as well, and then you behave differently. So throughout the 3 months, you're doing a bevy of different NLP protocols that work together. Typically, I have my guys do them before they fall asleep at night. So I send them the recordings. And again, each one is 10 to 15 minutes. The longest one is 20. And they listen to it on their headphones before they fall asleep at night. The reason we do it before you fall asleep at night is because you're slightly more suggestible when you're in that state. Plus, your subconscious mind tends to work on the last thing you did right before you fell asleep. So what we want to do is install that shit right before you go to sleep. And then your subconscious mind is just hammering on it while you're sleeping, thus making the results that much better. So again, when guys come into my program, they meet with Victor. He takes a shit ton of notes that he sends to me. I send the guys the NLP intake form, which also identifies a myriad of different belief systems, traumas, archetypes, schemas, and metaprograms. I use those two things together to create a custom 3-month protocol for each of my guys. They do it about 3 to 5 times a week before they fall asleep at night. And by the way, some guys fall asleep during the NLP process and they ask me, is it okay that I fell asleep? It's better that you don't. So in those situations, I tell guys to do it during the middle of the day while they're sitting in a chair, put on the headphones. There's meditation music. The visualizations are really cool, especially the ones where I instill confidence. They make you feel good. They promote healing. It's like being wrapped in a warm blanket, which is what many of my guys tell me the experience is like. So throughout the 3 months, you have a custom 3-month NLP process. And after the 3 months, dude, you're a changed guy. You're completely changed, and it's through that NLP. Now, a lot of people are still skeptical, and you know what? That's your right to be skeptical. I'm not here to try to change anybody's mind, but I will say this. If you are skeptical, then come try it out, right? If you're like me and you're like, this is bullshit, but I keep getting the same results over and over again, so I'm just going to try it, then see if it works for you. And I'll tell you, I'm completely confident it will work for you because it works for everybody. Look at my website. Look at the 200 plus testimonials. Those don't just come out of happenstance. That comes because this shit works. And I'll tell you, combining it with the ability to attract women is just so unbelievably effective. And that's why I keep harshing on you guys like, dude, why haven't you signed up? Why haven't you done this yet? Are you fucking crazy? I have the answer here. This works for every single guy who comes into my program who does the work. It's not going to work for you unless you listen to the NLP protocols. It's not going to work for you unless you show up to the coaching calls and study the material. But for each guy who comes in with the intention to change, with the intention to do the work and get the results, they always do get the results because this shit works. And it's only a matter of time before some copycat comes and tries to steal what I've created. But honestly, I'm okay with that because this is helping so many dudes. I just want to help more and more guys. And if that happens to be through somebody else, so be it. But heart to heart, brother to brother, warrior to warrior, this shit works. It completely changed my life. One other thing I want to say about this. When I was 10 years old, after my dad died, I was held down by 3 nurses and I had blood taken from me because they were trying to figure out why I was insulting myself and why I was depressed. And I'm like, obviously the reason is because my dad just died, you fucking idiots. But they held me down. I didn't know what was happening and they took blood from me. That gave me an immense fear of needles. Huge phobia. When I was 20 years old, I went into a tattoo shop and I saw them giving tattoos because I wanted to get a tattoo. And I passed out, woke up on the couch. It was the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me. And I had this major, major fear of needles to where I couldn't give blood. I couldn't go to the doctor. I literally couldn't go to hospitals because it freaked me out so much. So through 2 NLP processes, one of them is called the trauma process, and the other one I'm not going to say on here because it's only for my clients. Through those 2 processes, which I include in my 3-month custom NLP protocol, I completely got over my fear of needles to the point where I went and got my first tattoo, which was 9 fucking hours. Several weeks later, I got my second tattoo, which was 7 hours. Both of them, by the way, are on my Instagram page. If you want to check that out, it's at CoachMarkSing. That's the power of NLP. It's completely changed my life, has made me so much happier, completely gotten rid of my anxiety, in addition to what I talked about on my last episode. But guys, I believe in it. You can hear that from me, and it works for every single dude who comes into the program. So if you've questioned how it works, I just explained it. If you question how the 3 months works with me and how we do NLP on you, I just explained that. So the next logical step is to try it. Come meet with us on a free one-on-one breakthrough session. You're going to get on a call with my boy, Victor Lynch. And perhaps if you're listening to this in the future, it might be somebody else. Victor is certified in NLP, and anybody who meets with you guys in the future too will be certified in NLP. He's going to take you through a process where we're going to identify why it is that you're unattractive to women, what kind of bullshit belief systems, traumas, metaprograms, schemas, and archetypes you're dealing with that's holding you back from getting the results that you want. and you'll be able to experience NLP firsthand. And if you're convinced, as I'm sure you will be, that it could work for you too, then we will invite you with open arms into the 3-month coaching program. And I will create for you, yes, me, and yes, for you specifically, a custom 3-month NLP protocol that I believe will completely change your life. Time and time again, guys graduate from my program and they're like, dude, this was the best decision I ever made. Thank you so much, Mark. I owe you more than the small investment it took to work with you. And that's why I do this, brothers. It's for that moment where a guy finally achieves the results he wants with women. A guy gets that shift he's been looking for years. A guy finally ascends to the level that he wants to ascend to, but that everything else has failed to take him to. That's why I'm here. And I want to do that for you too, man. We're always open to new clients. We'll welcome you with open arms. We're not pushy. We just want to know, can we get this guy to his goal? And if we can, go to Costco, get the bulk pack of condoms because you're about to need them, brother. I'm telling you, this shit is that effective. Gentlemen, I do appreciate you listening. I cannot thank you enough. Once again, if you're interested, just go to my website, CoachMarkSing.com, click on coaching, fill in the quick application. You and I are going to email back and forth a little bit. Then you're going to get it on a free 1-hour, one-on-one breakthrough NLP session with one of my NLP experts. Right now, at the time of this recording, I got Victor Lynch handling it, a fucking champion. And we're going to see if we can get you the results that you really want. That's all we care about. And we would be honored to be able to do that for you. I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays, so please stay tuned for the next one. And I will see you in the next episode.